Drew, felt like there were 3 times tonight that you guys had to respond to challenges. It kind of reminded you of a boxing match when you're kind of bumping around off something, and then your opponent lands a blow and punches you in the mouth, and then you got to come back, and you did. And they come back and they try to hit you again, and you block it, and then in the 8th they get 2 runs, and all you do is match it. What was it like in the dugout when those 3 times happened? How did you guys talk about responding to that?
I think we're such a good team, you know, that in situations like that we rely on each other, we trust each other, and when we get down, we know we're not out of the fight, you know. So it's a punch counter punch, you know. It's how this game should be played, you know. And it's a Friday night game, really a Thursday, obviously with the circumstance, but it's a Friday night matchup. Ryan McPherson right next to me threw his ass off, and you know, it's like you want to do it for him as an offense, you know, and that was really the mindset we had in the dugout. So to be able to give him the response that he deserves was big time for our team tonight.
Steve?
You're kind of along those lines too. We're just talking to Coach about it. It looked like it took a little while to kind of find the control on the fastballs. Like you just weren't really locating, but you started dropping Uncle Charlie's and spot changeups up there, and that's what winning pitchers do. Like, when did you maybe feel like you had the full complement of your stuff?
To be honest, even in the last inning, I didn't think I had full control of my fastball. I think that it was definitely better than the first inning, but the off speeds definitely carried me through the way. I was able to find those pitches, but I definitely need to find the fastball for next outing and get better on that.
Robbie?
Drew, it seems like every time you come up, you deliver a big hit. You hit 2 home runs tonight. Coach cannot nail this lineup down because it seems like every time he puts one of you guys in there that's kind of fighting for spots, you get the big hits. But also he talked about the camaraderie that you have as a team and all of that. I mean, what's that dynamic like with these guys? You're constantly fighting to get playing time, but it seems like you are cheering each other on too.
You know, the best teams, iron sharpens iron. You know, you look at the most successful teams that win and they play in Omaha, right? The depth that they have, you know, it's a long season. And for a guy like me who's a vet who's been on the block or has played a lot of college baseball, you know, just being ready and stay mentally prepared and, you know, doing whatever I can to help this team win. I've never played in the postseason personally, so I'm really pushing to do whatever the team needs me to do to help us make a run into the postseason and compete for a national championship. But the dynamic's great, you know, and it's such a deep team, like you said. A lot of great players, a lot of great characteristics that guys uphold within their personalities, and it's a special group for sure.
And if I can follow up too, I mean, you talk about doing whatever you need to do. You're playing some first base over there. I mean, what's that been like? I mean, I know you moved around before in the middle infield, but to get over there to first base and play some over there too.
Yeah, I think again it just comes down to just doing whatever the team needs me to do, and that spot just happened to be up in the situation of the game. And I was a fat kid growing up, so I had some experience over at first. So luckily, I kind of know the angles and how to play first base a little bit just from being overweight at a young age. So it was a lot of fun being there. So again, just doing what I can to step up to help my team win.
David?
I don't know if I can follow that up, but the home runs came tonight. I mean, you can't time things up because you lead off consecutive innings with a home run. Take us through both those shots.
I think my first at bat was a little too jittery, you know, so I need to slow down and ground myself a little bit. That's not acceptable for a guy who's in my shoes, who's played a lot of college baseball. You know, I need to do a better job setting the tone, and I will, you know, whenever those next opportunities come. But it was pretty cool, you know, and I think, again, it comes down to Fear really throwing his balls off and keeping us in the game. I mean, he's a Friday guy for a reason. You know, you look at his composure, his stuff, the way he goes about his business, and he's going to continue to do that for us. But for us as an offense, I think for me, I really needed to step up in the leadoff spot and set the tone, and I thought I did so, and I remained grounded and just played baseball. You know, just slowed the game back down and made adjustments, and then just kind of came through in those moments.
Do you remember what you hit out?
Wait, what did you say?
What the pitches were? You remember what you hit out?
Both off speed. The first one was a changeup, and the next one was a hanging curveball. So they were spinning us a lot. So to make adjustments, you know, early on, and They were spinning us early, so to be able to just rely on my skill set to adjust and then be able to come through was big time.
Got time for one more. Everybody's got one. Steve?
Ryan, it's been kind of a weird week, right? I mean, you guys spend the extra night in Dallas and bust it all the way down there, and you get back, and then they move the series up. How did that kind of maybe change your throwing plan and kind of your recovery plan as you got ready for tonight?
Yeah, this week was supposed to be kind of like a shorter week for us anyways, like throwing wise. So it kind of worked out with the recovery with my bullpen on Tuesday. I was able to throw a little bit less on that Tuesday, and we found out later that night that we were going to play on Thursday or the day after, so it worked out perfectly.